Hello little buns, it is Steph. Welcome back to my home. This is going to be another in my trans education series, alright? So let's get started here. I wanted to talk to you a little bit about transsexuality, and I do not mean the incorrect term for transgender, which is transsexual, which I will address in a minute. I mean the sexuality of trans people. The most important number one thing you have to understand that a lot of people still don't understand is that gender identity, or gender as a whole, and sexuality are completely unrelated. And I find I see a lot of the time people are confused when they talk about trans people because they're like, well, who do they sleep with? And like, that doesn't matter, okay? The truth is, you can be trans or cis. It has nothing to do with who you sleep with. Okay, your gender or gender identity have nothing to do with anybody but yourself. Okay, so you can be a trans woman and a lesbian. You can be a trans woman and be straight. You can be a trans woman and be bisexual, pansexual, whatever. You can be anything. It's completely unrelated to your gender identity and often is not even influenced by it. I think what a lot of people that don't understand trans people are afraid of is this sexual mist that hangs over the discussion on trans people that is completely irrelevant. And that's why I don't like the term transsexual, because it implies there's something sexual about a trans person's trans life. And yes, of course, we have sex, we're sexual beings, but we're no more sexual than a cisgender person is. There's nothing sexual about my transition, there's nothing sexual about me as a trans person. That's got nothing to do with it. And you know what? I'm gonna let people that want to use that term, I'm gonna let them use it on themselves. But if I see a cis person refer to us as a whole as transsexuals, I'm gonna be like, no, listen, we're transgender. Because it needs to be understood that sexuality and gender are completely separate and unrelated. Okay, a lot like church and state are supposed to be. Oh, so now that you understand that, let me tell you about transsexuality. Like I said, trans people can be any form of sexuality, okay? It doesn't have to be a certain binary sexuality. It can be any attraction. I myself have so far only been attracted to men, so I am a straight trans woman. I have many lesbian trans woman friends. I have many bisexual trans woman friends, and these are all valid people, and like I said before, their sexuality has nothing to do with their gender, okay? Because if that was the case, we would all be the same sexuality, and we're not. So, thanks. My sexual interests and sexuality are very much the same of a cisgender woman. It's no different. There's nothing about my transness that would make my sexuality different. However, of course, with the effects of hormones and having different anatomy from a cis woman, there's going to be differences, okay? So let me tell you about the changes that hormone replacement therapy have brought about in my sexual life, all right? Mom, brace yourself. Thanks. It's also worth mentioning you should not be randomly asking trans people about their sexuality. This is something that I'm choosing to speak about at an educational level. So just because I'm talking about it does not mean all trans people are going to want to talk about their genitals or their sexuality, okay? Thanks. A common effect that hormone replacement therapy has on trans women is genital shrinkage. And for a lot of us, this is a great thing because it means we can tuck easier, we can fit into garments easier. It's just a better thing for us. I personally am not offended by my genital shrinkage, okay? I don't give a shit because it's not gonna be there in 2 years anyway, all right? Some trans women are okay with using their anatomy in sexual pursuits. Every trans woman is different. Some trans women, of course, like to have a more active role. Some women like to have a more traditional role. It's hard to talk about because there's so many layers. It's like an onion. It's like Shrek. Ogres, all right? But what you need to understand about trans women and sexuality, or even trans men and sexuality, is that every single person's going to be different. So if you experience a sexual experience with one trans person, the next trans person is not going to be the exact same. Just like any cisgender relationship, it's not going to be the exact same. So what I would say to you, if you are pursuing a trans person, or if you are becoming intimate with a trans person, is be aware that they are going to most likely want to be pleasured, okay? And that does not mean you have to do everything in the book. That means have a conversation, see what they want out of it, see what you're comfortable doing. If you're new to this and you're not a chaser, God bless you. You're probably going to be a little bit like, I don't know what I want. I don't know what I want. But if you're attracted to this person, you're probably going to want to bring them pleasure in some form. So don't feel like you have to dive in right away and just start doing things that you've never done before, okay? Because I guarantee you that's not what is expected of you, all right? Just have a conversation with the person you want to become intimate with and, you know, figure out if there's anything they don't want to be called or any body part they don't want to touch or any body part that they don't want to be called a certain thing. It's really a lot less complicated than it sounds. Just say, you know, is there anything that makes you uncomfortable? You don't have to say, if I touch this, will you be uncomfortable? Just say, is there anything that would make you uncomfortable that I should not do? And that should cover the base. They should interpret that as a way to express anything that they're not comfortable with to you, all right? Backpedaling to the effects of HRT, a lot of trans women experience, I guess you could call it libido failure, I don't know, a very big drop in sex drive at some point on their hormone replacement therapy. That does not mean every trans woman is going to get that. Some do not. I feel like I'm hitting that right now. And since I've started, my sexuality and my libido have been changing. I'm more interested in different things. Disclaimer, Mom, do not listen to this part. Please just skip a minute ahead or something. Just please. Before my transition, I was I had a lot of sex with a lot of different people, okay? And I do not endorse this behavior necessarily. If you're being safe, that's fine, whatever. But for me, it wasn't fulfilling. It wasn't sincere. There were even some things that I really wish did not happen. And I've been tested, everything's fine. But before I transitioned, sex was like this thing that I used to pass the time, or this thing that I did because my body wanted me to. And now that I'm on hormone replacement therapy, and a lot of trans women will explain this to you the same way, intimacy feels more real. It feels right. And that could be because we're with people that see us as women. It could be because we are changing inside chemically. But I know that any kind of intimate anything, even a hug, whatever, it brings me internal happiness. Whereas before, it was kind of like, well, I gotta do this. And then you feel shame after, you feel guilt after. And I don't have that anymore, which is fantastic. I'm happy about it. Thank you. So if you're with somebody that's transitioning and you are sexually active with them, you may see changes occur as time goes on. Don't feel like that has anything to do with you, because 9 times out of 10, it will not have anything to do with you. It's because hormones are chemically altering our body and what we desire and everything like that. So expect changes in a trans partner. And if you're trans and you're going to be on HRT soon, expect changes in your sex drive, okay? In general, I've just become more interested in tenderness. I don't know, but the shift has gone from aggressive to intimate, all right? And I think that's pretty significant, because in general, testosterone is an aggressive hormone. In general, my aggressiveness has decreased, but my sincerity, my happiness has increased. And I feel like that pattern is also relevant in terms of sexuality, all right? As usual, every trans experience is different, so this may not apply to everybody, but in general, this is going to be a helpful thing for you. And I hope that some of the knowledge that you may have learned, you retain in your future interactions with trans people, or possibly future sexual interactions with trans people. Before we go, I just need to clear the misconception that hormones make trans women completely unable to perform. That is not true. That is something a lot of chasers like to think, because they don't want their T-girls or whatever getting on hormones and their penis shrinking, okay? But that's not true, okay? It's just it's a shift in sexuality. So don't listen to the people that are telling you you're not going to be able to function. And I should also touch on the post-op side of this. I am pre-op, of course. I've only been transitioning for 5 or 6 months, so I cannot speak to the post-op experience, but I can promise you that post-op trans women are completely able to perform. Unless you have a botched surgery, which is extremely rare if you go to the right doctor, you're going to be able to perform just fine. Do not listen to people that tell you your genitals are mutilated and you won't be able to feel pleasure ever again, because it's not true. Okay, it's not true. And part of the reason why I selected my doctor that I'm going to is because his method is different from the others. If you want to look that up, his name is Dr. Suporn. He's in Thailand, and his method creates a much more sensitive, reactive result, okay? And that's not saying that other doctors do not create similar reactive, sensitive results, if you know what I mean. It's just that that is the one that I feel most comfortable trusting. The bottom line is, do not listen to people that tell you your sex life will suck after SRS, or whatever you want to call it, because it's not true, okay? Everybody's different, but the surgery for trans women, SRS for trans women, creates a perfectly functional, okay, vagina, all right? Great, thanks for listening. Until next time, I will see you all again very, very soon. Please let me know if you have any respectful questions in the comments, and I will see if I can get to you. If not, maybe some of the other community from the Bread Squad can answer your questions. Any trans people up in here can answer your questions, maybe. We'll see. We'll see, just let us know what questions you have, okay? I love you all so, so much, and I will see you again very soon. Oh my God, until next time, just, be cool, be chill, be calm. It's all good, it's all okay. Everything's gonna be fine. I love you so much, bye. how do trans women change their voice? And if I am a trans woman, that's you, how do I change my voice? The misconception here is that hormone replacement therapy is going to change your voice. For transgender men, that is the case. Testosterone thickens your vocal